What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Tacobout Co. Today I'm going to show you how to install the Rally brake brackets. This is for the front brake hose and the Speedo cable. This is for any of the 2- or 4-stroke Austrian dirt bikes. Step 1 is to remove the 6mm bolts that hold this bracket retainer clip on. Now, working very carefully because this knife is super sharp, this blade will hurt you. It's really important to come in on the side. Don't go straight in like this because the edge of this knife could damage the hose. So you work sideways against the opening, and then don't put your hand on the bottom. You don't want to slice yourself. So with your hand across the top here, you can start cutting into that, and you're just going to move that blade very carefully down through the material all the way until you get to the bottom. You can take this cable, flip it around, and now do the exact same job on the hose side. Again, being super careful. If it feels like there's too much resistance there, you might be getting into the hose. So you just want to really finesse this all the way down. Another thing to observe is that you don't have too much of that blade going in. You just want the end hook. So I've got it to a point where I feel a little bit of tension, and I'm not so sure that it wasn't getting into the hose. So I'm going to go back up here and just start again. I've already got the kerf, so I'm just going to carefully slide this down. And now I'm going to just, there we go. Okay, so I don't think I was touching the hose. I think I just got a little nervous. Better to be err on the side of caution here when doing this. And we're through. At this point, you can remove the cable from the side. On the Speedo, you have 2 options. You can cut the holder and then slide it out like this, or if you wanted to and you had all of this apart, you could remove the cable itself . And then once you have that released, you can just take this here, slide it up and out. Notice on these we have a U and an L, that's upper and lower. The U will be up top, and if you open up the little cavity here, you'll see there's some shoulders and a little recess here. That is going to grab this cleat. So that's going to go around and secure it like that. This cable will go through the other side like that, and you can get it positioned however you think is going to work best on your particular bike. And then on this one, there is no interior cleat and there's really no top or bottom. You may want to just put the L on the bottom so you don't see that. And you have the option of either putting it here so that both of these are within the upper fork area, or it's totally fine if you have something going on in this area, you don't have the room, you could put this on the bottom one. There's really no particular reason why you can't space it out like that. Using the provided zip ties, come around . You want to tighten these pretty good, get them nice and snug. Same operation on the bottom one. Okay, same thing here, get this good and tight. At this point, you'll see we cross over the top. Some riders are going to be picky about this, and they may want this brake hose to go underneath through this gap. That's fine. If that's how you want to set yours up to begin with, you'll need to remove your right-hand brake master cylinder brackets here so that this becomes free, and then you'll loosen this bracket here or whatever holder you have for your clutch side. And you may even need to remove your clutch side, and you'll just have to swap these cables so that they cross over in whichever way you prefer. On this bike, we're just gonna go ahead and leave it like that. But again, you may wanna consider something like that. So your Speedo cable, you have a couple options once you get to this point. You could cross it back over, re-secure it, and run it back down exactly the way the OEM setup was. Another option you have is you could take this and then dive it through here so that it's hidden and it no longer goes up over the top. And then once you get to this point, you could take it and then double it back on itself and connect it. Another way is to slice off the wire coverings. And even slice back some of this hard covering. You also, when you do this one, just be very careful of those wires. They're small and it's kind of easy to snag them. But the idea here is you can pull some of that wire out, trim this away, and once that's trimmed away, you can take your extra wire and now it becomes very space saving. Put a zip tie on there, tuck it in, and then reconnect. And there you go. This is what we do on a lot of our bikes. If you had the resources, you could shorten this. There's no specific length that this needs to be. And so you could cut away some of this. If you had these Deutsch connectors and the crimper tools, you could make that shorter. Time to put the lower bracket back on. Make sure to trap that cleat that's on this bottom one here in the bracket. Don't over tighten those screws. Oh, I need to pull more of this up. Okay. At this point, you can secure these hoses together. Use your 3 included heavy-duty zip ties. Put your the end of the zip tie facing outward. Take the other zip tie, and you need to secure these hand flags, if you have them on your bike, back to this hose unit here. It's a little bit tricky. It goes through the top and then through the bottom, around the hose and the wires. Come along with some snips and cut off all your zip ties. Double check your work, make sure everything's secure, and now your hose will flex out like a Dakar rally bike. Thanks for using this and any of our other products. If you have any questions about this or anything else, please reach out. Like, subscribe, go out, get some adventure.